Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. George Orwell wrote, "The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history." The Biden administration announced today that the United States had the third hottest July on record in what is shaping up to be another hot year for the country. Let's take a look at the actual data and see if what they're saying is true. The average mean temperature of the U.S. Historical Climatology Network from January through July was the 15th lowest on record since 1895. The percent of days above 70 degrees Fahrenheit was the third lowest on record. This was the fourth very cool year in a row. And the percent of nights below 20 degrees Fahrenheit was the fourth highest on record. So the claim that 2022 is shaping up to be another hot year for the country is fake news. Here in Wyoming, we barely had a spring at all. It seemed like winter was going on endlessly. Now let's look at the claim of the third hottest July. Afternoon temperatures during July were 42nd hottest since 1895 and just about average. Mean temperatures were 17th hottest since 1895. The percent of days above 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius was 44th highest on record during July. And the percent of the United States to reach 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius during July was 38th lowest on record. So all of the claims from the Biden administration about July were completely fake news. Now let's take a look at how the Biden administration created the fake news. Thermometers show that afternoon temperatures in the United States during July were 42nd hottest on record and much cooler than 1936. But the graphs released by the United States government don't show actual thermometer data. They alter the data and turn this 90-year cooling trend into a warming trend. This graph shows the 10-year mean of the actual thermometer data in purple. But the red line is what they release to the public. You can see that they massively cool the past and they warm the present. This graph shows the magnitude of their data tampering. They cooled the very hot July of 1901 by almost 2 degrees. And they warmed the not-so-hot July of 2022 by more than 1/2 degree. So the Biden administration is creating their fake warming trend with almost 2.5 degrees of data tampering. What we're seeing here is a hockey stick of government fraud. Snopes and PolitiFact have both checked my work. They didn't dispute the fact that the tampering was occurring, but they said I was wrong because the government was doing it for good reason. Let's look at some front pages of the New York Times from the summer of 1901. June 29, 1901. Heat brings death and much suffering. Life rendered almost unbearable in the tenement districts. June 30th, 1901. New York wilts in protracted heat. Temperature on the street from 98 to 106 in the shade. Many dead and prostrated. July 1st, 1901. The city a furnace virtually deserted. July 2nd, 1901. Heat's holocaust in the 5 boroughs. 87 deaths and 178 prostrations. Mark hottest July 1st on record. And 10 people were killed by a bolt of lightning. July 3rd, 1901. Heat brings death to over 200 persons. Several hundred others collapse in stifling atmosphere. New York also had a tornado and fires that day. July 4th, 1901. 200 more dead before rain falls. And it wasn't just hot in the United States in 1901, it was also hot in Europe. The New York Times reported unprecedented heat in Italy, temperatures of 43 degrees Celsius. The vineyards in entire districts have been shriveled up by the Scirocco and ruined to the very roots, as though set on fire. 1901 was bad, and the heat wave of 1911 was even worse. A July 1911 heat wave killed thousands of people in New England and sent many over the brink of madness. People committed suicide to escape the heat. And in Paris, more than 40,000 people died in the heat wave of 1911. July 4th, 1911 was the hottest on record in the United States. The Boston Globe reported 112 degrees in Maine and 110 degrees in New Hampshire. The hottest temperature in Maine this summer was 97 degrees, which is 15 degrees cooler than 1911. The hottest July in the United States occurred during 1936. Times Square in New York City got up to 115 degrees. During 6 days of heat in Detroit, 365 people died. During July of 1936, Michigan got up to 109 degrees. The highest temperature they reported this July was 94. The red bars show the hottest temperature per state during July of 1936, and the blue bars show the same thing for 2022. You can see that most states were much hotter during July of 36 than they were during July of 2022. California appears to have been hotter during July of 2022, but that's because NOAA doesn't have any temperature records from Death Valley from 1936. So the California data is meaningless. The red bars show states which had hotter temperatures during July 1936, and the blue bars show states which had hotter temperatures in 2022. Iowa, North Dakota, West Virginia, and Wisconsin were all almost 20 degrees hotter in 1936. Perhaps the best way to visualize this is to look at the individual stations. The red dots show stations which got above 100 degrees during July 2022, and the purple dots show stations which got above 110 degrees. There were no 100-degree temperatures during July 2022 in the upper Midwest or in New England. Now let's compare July 2022 to July of 1936. During July of 1936, there were 100-degree temperatures everywhere, and 110-degree temperatures also covered much of the country. July 1936 was much hotter than July 2022. So was July 1934. So was July 1930. So was July 1931. So was July 1901. It appears there aren't a lot of 100-degree temperatures in the West during July 1901, but that's just because they didn't have a lot of thermometers. These claims from the Biden administration about July temperatures in the United States are completely fake news. They have no basis in reality. The claims about near-record heat during July of 2022 are not based on the historical record. They're nothing more than propaganda. George Orwell wrote in his novel 1984, "The past was erased, the erasure was forgotten, the lie became the truth." Toto has been pulling back the curtain on this temperature fraud for the past 14 years. You can visit him, Kyrie Caesar, Toki, and Upla on the web at realclimatescience.com.